Okay, I was recently in Austin, Texas for the entirety of Fantastic Fest. I was gone for 8 days and I saw something like 37 feature films and then multiple shorts throughout the fest. So it was over 40 things in all. And I was just gonna give a quick rundown of a rough take of my top 5 because it's hard to trim down that small. But first up, Daddy's Head, which I believe is coming straight to Shudder soon. But it's like a boy grieving his dead father, and so he's now living with a new stepmother, and it's like a weird suspense creature, all kinds of stuff going on, but like feels like The Lodge, but then there's also like a weird creature involved, kind of like a Babadook setup, but there's actually a payoff. Bone Lake, which we didn't ever reviewed, but I know I've talked about Spoonful of Sugar before, a movie that I've seen that I loved at Fantastic Fest a few years ago. This is the female director's new movie, Bone Lake, and it's like a barbarian setup. Two couples come to a place that both supposedly Airbnb'd it, and chaos ensues. Their movie, Gazer, it's kind of like a Memento type movie, where like the person, she doesn't have like the memory disorder from Memento. She has a thing like where she'll zone out and black out and can't keep track of time. So like if she stops paying attention, like she'll literally come back, like just go like that, and it'll be hours later and she has no idea. When I actually reviewed on Letterboxd, the cinematographer liked my review, followed me. The director liked it. The star commented on the review. It was pretty good. It was the guy's first movie. Sister Midnight, which was like, it's in Hindi. The guy is a British Indian guy. It's a female vampire movie. So like a girl walks home alone at night, that movie. It's like that, but comedy. Like there's comedy involved, but it's still a horror. Cool stuff going on. One note, like there's animals that become reanimated because of like the whole vampire thing, but anything that becomes reanimated is shot in stop motion, which sounds weird, but it looks very cool in the movie. And there was a Q&A after, and he said the reason he did that was a choice he made right away, like it wasn't a later on thing, that he wanted, because it was a goat and birds is what you see. And he said he knew right away he wanted them to come off kilter, like not normal. So the stop motion immediately like makes you question, like obviously that's not like a normal goat. But like, so there are normal birds and goats in the movie, but the ones that were reanimated are like stop motion. And it was actually cool. Yeah. And then, to me, by far the best thing I saw there was Megalopolis, which Francis Ford Coppola, it's great, crazy cast. LaBeouf kills it, Aubrey Plaza kills it, Jon Voight kills it. I know people are gonna hate it. I know people already do hate it, but I thought it was a great experience. And then I have some honorable mentions because I know some of these 5 are gonna be hard to see for a while because you never know when stuff's gonna get distribution and whatnot. And then one, because it wasn't even new, but I saw The Fall in 4K. It was the North American premiere of the new 4K restoration, which they added like 2 minutes to the film, I guess, which there's a title card in the beginning that just says like, in Los Angeles, once upon a time, which is not in the normal movie. No, like I guess he added that title card because people's complaint was like, oh, people can't relate to when the movie is or whatever. And then there's like another short scene with a priest where he has a stupid haircut. Like his head is shaved right here, but like a ring of hair around here. Yeah. And the director said he made that guy get that stupid haircut for a shot in the movie so that it would match up how he wanted with like the mountains in the background. He thought it looked cool, and then cut it from the movie and felt so bad that he re-added it to this 4K cut because he made that guy get the haircut for the movie.
How amazing did it look?
Dude, it's probably the prettiest thing I've ever seen. It was crazy.
Was it?
Yeah. And how that movie came to be is basically he made The Cell,
right.
Hated the experience, like hated how involved people were and like how Hollywood makes you like change things and do things So he basically said, screw that, I'm gonna work at, did music videos and stuff like that. So while he was doing his other work, had these people, like the actors and stuff that were involved, signed up to do it. And he would randomly just like hit them up, be like, hey, I'm in Egypt shooting this music video, and I got this, because everything in the movie are natural landscapes that he just found and was like, I wanna shoot here. And it was across like 14 countries, I think they said.
Yeah.
So like he would just hit them up and be like, hey, I'm in Egypt filming this music video, like fly over here and do this scene. And like would just do that for years.
That's awesome.
And was like, hey, I found these, like this castle in the mountains, come film it. And like just did that for
I feel like
years.
I'd be the same way if I did my.
And it was, yeah, it's crazy. And then two other movies. Saturday Night was a secret movie there. The Saturday Night Live like biopic type movie, which I didn't know this going in. It is an hour and a half, like straight shot.
It's supposed to be one continuous.
Yeah, like one continuous straight shot of, but it takes place from 10 p.m. at night until 11:30, which is airtime for Saturday Night Live, the first episode of Saturday Night Live. So it's real time, like just following the chaos of each of the characters, like, and it is very cool because of that, because like you're lost in like the ups and downs, the arguments, all that. I do like that they didn't play nice. Like Chevy Chase comes off as a dickhead in this, which he was in real life. Like I don't think anybody is new to the fact now that Chevy Chase, like people didn't know for a while, but he's like misogynistic, chauvinist, racist prick.
Very hard to work with.
And there is a scene in the movie where Chevy Chase says, I know in real life he had to have said the N-word, but in the movie, he's like, hey, to all the executives of NBC, he's like, hey, welcome to New York. If you want to see black people, go to Harlem. If you want to see Jews, go to the writer's room. And like everybody is dying laughing because it's like the 70s.
Right.
But Chevy Chase is a prick the whole movie.
Yeah.
And then Heretic, which was a surprise. I liked it a lot more than I expected, and it was also a secret movie there. I wrote that it's kind of like Barbarian if it took place in Mormon country instead of Detroit. But it's like not as over the top in your face as Barbarian was. It's more cerebral because the setup is two Mormons show up to a house, like how they pamphlet and do all that. And Hugh Grant is a house they show up to, and they try to talk him into being a Mormon. And it's like him sitting down trying to tell them like religion is a like fallacy, and like it's like a debate where these two young girls and him are arguing about religion, and then it turns into like a weird cat and mouse, like mousetrap, where they're stuck in the house but still like arguing and debating with him. And but it does go to like the limits and gets weird and bizarre at points. But it was much better than I anticipated. And Hugh Grant, who would have thought, could play an egotistical prick very well.
Right.
Never would have thought.
Right.
But that's it. And except for one thing, Baby Invasion, do not see it. I want 80 minutes of my life back. I was furious after seeing it. Harmony and Corey Feldman were in the screening I was in. Like I walked into the theater with Corey Feldman. Bizarre human, just stopped in the middle of the aisleway and was like touching the posters on the way into the theater, just being Corey Feldman. He was wearing like a fucking velvet suit, like, you know, whatever. But so they were sitting like kind of close to us in the theater. At the end of the movie, they were already gone. Like Harmony and him sat next to each other and they were just gone when the movie was ended. So they didn't even stay the whole time.
So you were pretty vocal at the end of that movie?
I did. So somebody did stand up and cheered when it ended, and I was like, oh my fucking God. Like I was livid. And then afterwards, like, cause at the festivals and stuff, like if you know people there, or even if you don't, like people will just talk about the movies afterwards. And like the friend I meet up with there and his friend they liked it more than I did, but they did acknowledge that it was nonsense. But so like we were talking, and then somebody else asked them about it, and I go, it's fucking infuriating. Like I was like, it's not even a movie. Like there's nothing that would say it's a movie. It was just infuriating. Like I literally, Gummo, you know, Gummo's coming out on Criterion. I am refusing to purchase it because I sat through this movie. I will not pay for Gummo.
So 80 minutes equals $30.
Dude, it was only 80 minutes. It felt like an eternity.
It was that bad.
And it's just bombarding you. It's so loud, and it's like one continuous loud techno track for the whole 80 minutes. And a woman like whispering about rabbits over that track.
Was it the worst movie you ever watched?
Yes, the only movie I've ever given a 0. Ever.
Yeah.
Only one of like 3 movies where I was like, I regret watching this and want all of that time given to me somehow. Like this, Birdemic 3, and maybe that Fool's Paradise with the Charlie Day's like debut. I was like, how do I get this time back? Like, who do I write a letter to?
Yeah.
Because it was, I mean, Harmony has to be just taking a piss and saying, how many people will like this? It's garbage.
The social experiment.
I don't get it. Honestly, it was not like a letdown of a year, but there weren't any. I mean, besides Megalopolis and Sister Midnight, those were the 2 highest rated things I have, like a 10 and a 9, 9.5. And then a bunch of like 7, 8s, and then only a couple bad.
Yeah.
So like everything was middle of the road.
Yeah.
Like previous years, I've had like some crazy good stuff, but then also crazy bad stuff.
Right.
Going into Fantastic Fest, picking my movies was Rocky, and I was instantly like, I'm never coming again. But now it is up in the air, I probably will go again. Great time, I hate people. So the mass amount of people is rough.